Hey guys, and welcome back to another of my weekly pick videos. Can't believe it's week 6. Last week I didn't have such a great week. I went 6 of 8, but hopefully this week we do better. I'm 50 and 27 this year, which is my best year, obviously. I mean, it's pretty good. So I'm going to jump right into it. The 3-1 Atlanta Falcons are taking on the 2-2 Miami Dolphins. I have the Atlanta Falcons coming off a bye, feeling well rested after the way the Dolphins played against a Marcus Mariota-less Titans team. I'm expecting this to be a close game, but I definitely think Atlanta is going to win this one 24-16 at home. Next, I have the 1-4 Chicago Bears taking on the 3-2 Ravens. The Bears are coming off a loss, which came down to the rookie quarterback, but also it came down to some questionable calls late in the game to a Vikings team. The Bears, I know they're not very good on the road, and they've played well at home for the most part. And I know that Baltimore's defense is really good, but Baltimore's offense is led by Joe Flacco, who has the second worst passer rating in football, only ahead of Deshaun Kaiser. So I am definitely going to go with the upset here. Chicago wins in Baltimore, led by Mitch Trubisky, 23-20. I think his mobility is going to keep it going, and I think this defense, as great as Baltimore is, you saw how good their defense was against Blake Bortles in London. So with that being said, 23-20, Chicago edges Baltimore for their second victory of the season. Moving on, the 2-3 Houston Texans are taking on the 0-5 Cleveland Browns. This is a weird game for me because it seems so obvious that the Texans would win this game. I still have them winning, but I think it'll actually be closer than people think. I think getting Myles Garrett back makes a lot of the difference. Myles Garrett is a hell of a player, and for me, I do think, with the way Deshaun Watson has been playing, he might get a little too gun happy. And when you look at the Browns, their corners, they're all rated really highly. A Pro Football Focus says Jason McCourty is the top corner right now. And then Brian Body Calhoun is also having a good year, and Jamar Taylor. So this could be a game where Deshaun Watson just goes gunslaying the entire time and keeps the Browns in it. I have them winning regardless. So 31-27, I have Houston winning. And eventually the Browns will get their win, but it won't be this week. Alright, so moving on. The 3-2 Detroit Lions are taking on the 2-2 New Orleans Saints. The Saints, like the Falcons earlier, are coming off a bye. They're well rested, obviously. They're playing a beaten up quarterback in Matthew Stafford, who, I mean, he got pounded last week against the Panthers. So they're playing him, and also they just traded Adrian Peterson, who I think it's going to be a big deal now, kind of giving Alvin Kamara more the opportunity. I think Alvin Kamara will be the X factor in this win. I have them over Detroit 34-27 in a relatively fun game to watch. If you like points, I think this is going to be a shootout. Moving on, the 4-1 New England Patriots taking on the 3-2 Jets. So I can't believe. The 3-2 New England Patriots taking on the 3-2 Jets. I cannot believe that the Jets are 3-2. But unfortunately, this is probably where it's going to end. Their schedule gets ridiculously hard. No one thought that they'd be ahead of this division and playing in Week 6 for the division lead. But here we are. It's been a weird year, but don't think it's going to be that weird, and don't think that the Jets are actually going to win against the Patriots this Sunday. I do think it'll be close. Jets do play the Patriots close when they're at home. This is a better team than last year when they got blown out. So I think they are going to. The spread is 9.5 for New England. I think the Jets keep it close. They lose 21-13, and New England wins this one. Moving on, the 4-1 Green Bay Packers are taking on the 3-2 Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are coming off a win on Monday Night Football, and the Packers are coming off a win in Dallas again because Aaron Rodgers is just so good. If you saw that game, it was phenomenal. Once again, the Vikings will be without quarterback Sam Bradford, who has been battling injury all season long. They'll also be without the running back that they lost a few weeks ago, Dalvin Cook, who I think really made them a Super Bowl contender with the way the defense is playing, the way you saw Bradford play week one. I felt like Dalvin Cook was really what they needed, and losing him, don't be fooled, Jerick McKinnon isn't all that, and Latavius Murray is a shell of himself from 2 years ago, somehow. Weird, but that is the case. So I think, I'm going to go with Green Bay in this one. I like Aaron Rodgers first off. I know he's on the road, and Minnesota's tortured him on the road before, but he's got a defense that's playing a lot better than years past, and he's got the fact that Minnesota can't run the ball to save their life. And I really like the idea. Aaron Jones is going to get involved more and more as the weeks go on. I think Green Bay found their running back of the future. I think Aaron Jones kind of seals the deal, running out that clock, but also with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to be a 31-20 victory. Green Bay moves to 5-1. So moving on, the 2-2 Washington Redskins are going to be taking on the 0-5 49ers. Pretty crazy. It feels like the Redskins should be better than 2-2 the way they've played tough teams. But they just had their bye last week, and the 49ers 0-5 and everything. They just let Navarro Bowman go. They're trying to basically shop around their leading rusher. Carlos Hyde is on the trading block, and other guys. So clearly this is a team that is about to go into fire sale mode before the trade deadline on Halloween. So I have the Redskins basically thumping all over the 49ers. 49ers will get a good look at their quarterback, Kirk Cousins, when he shreds the defense. I see this isn't even going to be close. I see 42-14, Redskins blow out the 49ers. Then moving on, the 3-2 Los Angeles Rams take on the 3-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are coming off the team's biggest win in recent memory. They have been unable to do really anything in the passing game. And, as great as this defense has been, they're pretty one-dimensional on offense with Leonard Fournette. And if this defense really doesn't get, points going, if Leonard Fournette is their only guy, I think every team in the league is going to know that they're just going to run the football. They don't want to give Blake Bortles, a chance to make plays or not make plays. The Rams, on the other hand, have a top 5 offense led by Sean McVay. The defense started off pretty rough, as you saw. They gave up that a lot of yards early on in the year, but they've kind of cleaned that up a little bit. And of course, Wade Phillips' defenses, they take it around about the week 5, week 6 mold, and then eventually they really start clicking. And I think you found that last week against Seattle. So I have the Rams. Jared Goff he just turned 23. He's going to be celebrating his birthday weekend the right way. 31-17 over the Jaguars. I think Jaguars defense is great, but they're going to get worn down because they have the 31st run defense, and Todd Gurley is going to make them pay. And then on top of that, with no quarterback to be able to stand toe to toe with Jared Goff if Goff goes off, I just don't see it. I think the Rams win a game that everyone is expecting the Jaguars to be a tough matchup, and the Jaguars fail to ring the bell after one of their biggest wins in recent memory. I think they're in for a natural letdown. 31-17 Rams. Moving on, the 2-3 Arizona Cardinals taking on the 2-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Something is wrong with Jameis Winston. Can we just say that right now? Dirk Cutter, as much as he is, he is put on a pedestal. That's basically the best way to say it. I think he screwed up Jameis Winston in some way, shape, or form. the Cardinals aren't exactly a great team. They just got their, they just got their butt kicked in Philly, but at home, the defense is talented, and the acquisition of Adrian Peterson could be a deciding factor in this one. It's going to be ugly, but Arizona wins. They win and they steal one at home, 16-13 over Tampa Bay. Moving on, the 5-0 Chiefs, the undefeated Chiefs, take on the 3-2 Pittsburgh Steelers. This is tough because while everyone is going to say it's obviously the Chiefs, you have to keep in mind I have never seen a Steelers team that really has gone through this much public criticism. I think eventually some of these guys are going to start breaking out. I mean, let's not forget Antonio Brown is still balling out despite how bad it's looked. He's still a phenomenal receiver. So I think everyone's like, Ben's going to throw 3 picks. He's going to throw 4 picks. He's going to keep this going. I don't think so. I think last week, some stuff went down. I think they underestimated the Jaguars' defense. I think they'll change it up a little bit, change the game plan, try to keep this close. And I think they ultimately will keep this close until the end. I just think having Kareem Hunt and the way right now the MVP of the league, Alex Smith, is playing, I don't like your chances, especially at Arrowhead. So I have the Kansas City Chiefs with a 34-24 victory over Pittsburgh. Moving on, the 1-4 Los Angeles Chargers are taking on the 2-3 Oakland Raiders. I think the Oakland Raiders are making a huge mistake because apparently Derek Carr is going to play. I hate it. I don't like it at all. This is the guy that he suffered a really nasty injury to his lower back. I believe he had a fracture or something like that. It was bad. It really wasn't good, and I think they're rushing him back way too soon. The fact he wanted to play last week, I thought that was insane. EJ Manuel gave you a chance to win against Baltimore. EJ Manuel gave you a chance to win against Denver. This defense, as great as some of these players are, their secondary is getting blown away. Garyon Conley is their best. He's their best corner in my opinion on the team. I think that's what you've seen so far, and he's been battling some injuries. So it's to me, I just think it's the secondary. I really do. And I think, they can win with EJ Manuel and just, rest up Derek Carr. But I guess, they're looking at it like this could be a lost season. I want to ask you, Oakland, would you rather have Derek Carr win you this game and then, be done for his career? Or would you rather have him lose this game, wait, and be ready to play, for 10 years later? I mean, that's what you're doing. You're risking your franchise quarterback, and for what? It'll be a tough game because the Chargers have played everyone very close. I had the Los Angeles Chargers winning the game. I think with the return of Mike Williams, and I think the way this defense is, I think the defense is going to knock Derek Carr out of the game. I would not be surprised. I think, with the way Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa play, they're going to have no problem getting the quarterback, and I think it's going to be a win for the LA Chargers, 24-19. And moving on, the 3-1 Denver Broncos are taking on the 0-5 Giants in what is probably going to be the most watched game for fantasy purposes. I think, daily fantasy fans and regular fantasy fans, it's funny because this game it's hilarious to me. This game so should have been flex scheduled. They had all week, and look, Denver, good team. It'll be, entertaining. Denver will put up a ton of points. But the 0-5 Giants not only lost Odell Beckham Jr., not only lost Brandon Marshall, but Sterling Shepard's not even playing. And on top of that, Ben McAdoo has lost the locker room. Yeah, he's got to go. He's just not a good coach, and I said that a million times. So, who was right? Anyway, they lost the locker room. Oh, and they suspended Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. Janoris Jenkins walked off practice. It's just a mess in New York. So I don't know how they didn't flex schedule this. This is going to be the Sunday night football game. There are a lot of good football games this week. I would have put the Chiefs and Steelers on Sunday night. I think that has more playoff implications, or the Packers Vikings, or I don't get this, but that's what they decided to go with, and I just think the Giants are going to get trounced on national television. I think C.J. Anderson is in for a huge game because I think the Broncos are just going to keep on running, or they'll pass, they'll force turnovers, they'll score off those turnovers, but I think C.J. Anderson is going to go off. So I have a whopping, in Denver, 45-10, the Broncos win. And at some point, you have to wonder about Eli. You have to wonder, at 0-6, why are you even playing Eli Manning? The season's probably over with, and you gotta see what you have in Davis Webb. I'm sorry, I'm not a huge fan of Davis Webb, but I'm just throwing it out there because it bothers me. Davis Webb was not a guy I would have drafted, but he's your young quarterback that you did draft, and you gotta see what you have out of him in what is pretty much a lost season. So anyway, the 2-3 Tennessee Titans take on the 2-3 Colts. The Titans, they've had a weird season. I think I cursed them. Hopefully, with Marcus Mariota expected to be back, I think this is going to be a close game. I think Jacoby Brissett gives you a lot to be excited about in Indianapolis. I think Jacoby Brissett keeps you in a lot of these games with his mobility, but his elite traits that he has. I do believe he is a franchise quarterback, and that means the Colts have too. But I don't believe he's going to win this game. I think with Marcus Mariota coming back, if he misses, I think I have the Colts winning if he misses. But if he plays, and he could play, I expect Mariota to spark this team. It's been tough for them this year. Corey Davis has been hurt. They spent a 5th overall pick on him to give Mariota a weapon. It just hasn't worked out. But I do have a fun, thrilling game down to the wire, 27-24 victory for the Tennessee Titans. And that concludes this week's Week 6 picks. Hopefully, I end up getting in the 60s, and I'm 60-27 or something along those lines, because last week was bad. I was in the top 300 in NFL Pigskin Pick'em on ESPN, and now I'm like 10,000. So that bad week shattered any chance I had of getting a new car or whatever they give away there. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will be back to do a Week 7 next week. I can't wait. I love what, the season is so exciting, so exhilarating, and so, what's the best word to say? Unpredictable? Who thought the Jets were going to go 3-2? But anyway, with that being said, I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you guys. Have a good NFL Sunday. Later.